Greetings and salutations, YouTube family and friends. T-Rav Vlogs here. What's up, guys? Now that Gateway Furmeet has come and gone, I've been able to kind of sit and reflect on the weekend as a whole and the convention and everything that happened, and I've been able to collect a few thoughts about it. But first off, once again, I would like to thank everyone who reached out over the course of the convention. You all are amazing. I love you so very much, and you really helped to make my convention very special, and I cannot wait to see you in the years to come. So with that being said, let's get to my thoughts on the state of Gateway Furmeet. After having gone since the very first year it ever was created, is it still worth going to? Should you even bother at this point? Let's talk about it. So the first big thing that I want to mention about the convention is the prominence of the younger furs. I noticed so many young furs this year, both with and without fursuits, a lot of them with the suits or the accessories, be they raptor masks or actually full-blown foam fur, the whole 9 yards when it comes to costumes. And let me just say that absolutely warms my heart to know that there are so many young persons in the area interested in the fandom and so passionate to already have gone so far into the costuming realm of it. It really means only one thing, that the future of the furry community in the St. Louis area is bright. Because you have all of these young, passionate furs who are ready to take their passion to the next level. And as they get older, as they get more talented, not to say that they weren't already, however, as they get older and learn more resources, I have a feeling that they can do a lot for the fandom as a whole. And in talking to some of the furs and their parents, they all seem to have a really good time. It was just so wonderful to see the already established community welcome them with open arms and say, hey, yeah, welcome aboard, we're glad to have you. It's awesome to see such new faces coming into the fandom, so young, to be able to really just let loose. And the cool thing is, they brought their parents along to show them, hey, this is the kind of fandom that I'm into, this is what we do, isn't it cool? And almost all of the parents that I talked to were super excited to see their young one so interested in such a welcoming and warm community. So that was so awesome to see all the young furs come in. It's as if the fandom is becoming younger. When I first went to GFM, the very first year they had it, most of the attendees were of my age or a little older or maybe just a touch younger, but we were all roundabout the same age range. As it's been going on, the fandom's getting younger, which means there's going to be more new furs coming up the ranks, and like I said, they'll be blossoming with their talent, and it's really painting a bright future for the furry community as a whole. On a similar vein, I also spoke to a lot of first-time attendees, this being their very first convention, not just the young furs, but some of the older furs and even a lot of the vendors. It was their very first GFM. They had never gone before. They didn't know what to expect. So to see so many new faces in that particular realm, again, promotes more growth. It'll be a larger, cohesive unit, and I really think that the St. Louis area furs are going to thrive from that, because you're getting all of these new interested folk coming in, even with the dealers. And I tried to follow up with a lot of the newcomers and ask them, hey, how was your convention experience? Did you have a good time? And pretty much everybody that I spoke to had a very positive experience when it came to the convention. They really enjoyed it. They're looking forward to next year. Both attendees and vendors alike are super excited to return to GFM in the coming years. And that, again, makes my heart so happy. Be it the young furs, new furs, whatever. GFM is growing. It's time to face facts. Gateway Furmeet is growing. And nothing could help solidify that fact more than the sheer amount of fluff I saw in the main ballroom before the fursuit parade. If you guys have seen the dozens of videos that are out there involving the fursuit parade, in fact, I will post one right there for you to take a look at, done by my friend Brandy. She did a very good job. Well, her camera person did a very good job capturing the parade while we were all in it. There was a lot of costumers, lots of fursuiters, more so than I've ever seen at any of the GFMs, and that was amazing. So once again, growth everywhere. In fact, the attendance, from what I understand, more than doubled from 2022. We were at about 300, in the high 300s, I think it was, attendance-wise, because of all the craziness that was still going on. People were a little bit apprehensive to attend the convention to begin with. But this year, it was closer to the mid 700s. 734 is a number that I believe I saw. So yeah, not quite 1,000, but we're getting very close. So the fact that attendance more than doubled, again, GFM, growth is happening. So those are pretty much all the good points of the convention. Well, there are tons of good points as far as location, food, activities, all that. There's so many good things about GFM, but let's talk about some of the not so great things that occurred over the weekend. Most of the not so good that I'm going to be focusing on had nothing really to do with the convention itself. It was more a case of the environment, the venue, things like that. But as far as the convention goes, I didn't really have any problem with the convention. I heard that there was some confusion over badge pricing as far as what constituted a minor and when the cutoff for a minor was. You had your 18 plus, which was, over 18, under 18, but then the prices got dodgy below the 18-year mark. So I'm sure that's something that can be discussed for future conventions, but for the time being, like I said, I didn't really have any problems, others did. And then when it came to vaccination status or negative test results, it's getting a little harder these days to get a hold of PCR testing. So I had overheard from some people in the Discord server, as well as others in person, that it was becoming very difficult to get a hold of PCR testing to prove that they were negative with, the virus that shall not be named. So I don't know exactly how that can be rectified other than PCR testing just becoming easier to get a hold of. But other than that, that's really the only con level issues that I had heard about. With myself, the only real issues I had were mainly with the hotel. Some sort of machinery was running near my room and it just kind of buzzed all night, and it kind of kept me up a little bit. Again, not the con's fault, more of a hotel type of thing, but what can you do about that? Let's face it, I just got some earplugs and I slept a lot better the night after, so oh well, it happens. Also, a friend of mine experienced a structural failure going up one of the stairwells to go back to their room. Because they had the larger fursuit feet, they needed a little extra support to be able to get up the stairs, and when they leaned on the railing, they didn't push on it or anything, they just simply applied their hand to offer support, and the railing ripped out of the wall and sent them tumbling forwards onto the stairs. Luckily, no one was hurt, so that's good. As far as I know, the hotel isn't holding anybody responsible. It was merely an accident. It wasn't my friend's fault. It was, if anything, and I hate to accuse anybody here, but it seems to me like it was kind of cutting corners construction-wise, because not to get too technical, but it was basically a single bolt or screw in nothing but drywall, and it pulled out about a tennis ball section worth of wall when they came tumbling down. So luckily, nobody was hurt, everything was fixed, everything was good, and honestly, that's about all the bad that I can think of that occurred, and it really wasn't anything to do with the convention itself. And one final thing, the weather. Again, the convention cannot control that, but while we were out and about on the fursuit parade, where we were probably as far as we could be away from the hotel at the time, and it began to rain and sleet, and it was, I wouldn't say pouring down, but it was coming down at a pretty good click, so we kind of had to hurry our way back into the hotel before we all got soaked. Again, not the convention's fault at all. Mother Nature just decided she wanted to show up to attend the fursuit parade, I suppose, and she just chose a very odd way to do so. So wrapping everything up, as I said in the intro to this video, is GFM worth it? Should you continue to go? If you've never been and you're interested in it, should you take the time to register, get a hotel room, and come aboard. Absolutely. Gateway Furmeet is an amazing convention full of amazing people. The staff are wonderful, dedicated, the attendees are warm and welcoming. Everybody involved made a wonderful weekend, and of course, all of you who came out to show up, show out, and have a great time. Y'all made the convention what it was, and it was amazing. They've already announced the theme for next year, which is going to be murder mystery. And that's very interesting because I do love myself a good murder mystery. I'm interested to see what exactly they do to incorporate the theme for next year. So definitely, if you have not checked out GFM, Gateway Furmeet, please do so. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. It's still a smaller convention, less than 1,000 attendees for right now, but that's a good thing because it gives you more of an opportunity to make friends. I know I ran into the same group of people multiple times over the weekend. So it was very easy to get familiar with new faces, make friends, and it's just a smaller, intimate convention. And the con feel, you have heard me talk about con feel since the very beginning of this channel. And the con feel at GFM is always a down-home group of friends who are just hanging out to have a good time. And to everybody that I met at GFM, whether I was meeting you again or for the very first time, I am glad to have met you, and I cannot wait to see you again in the future. So if you have not checked out my Gateway Furmeet coverage just yet, go ahead and click right up there, and I will leave a nice little link to take you to the video. You can check out all the fun that was had, and you can decide for yourself if you would like to go. And if you have gone already, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How was your convention experience? Did you have a good time? Were there ups and downs? Would you make improvements if you could? If so, how? If not, tell me about the wonderful time you had. I always like talking to you guys, and anytime we can have a conversation down below in the comments, I love to do so. I love hearing from you guys, and I'm so glad that you've chosen to support me so far on this channel. But for now, that's really all I have to say about that. So until next time, I'll talk to you soon, and take care. Bye-bye.